The list has more than doubled. It's actually expanded dramatically in the past 4 years, nearly tripled since Kathleen Wynne became premier. There are currently 7,066 teachers on the Sunshine List. That means teachers making over $100,000, and that costs taxpayers about $765 million a year.
Now, some people are saying not fair for two reasons. We'll go through them both. And in fact, not just teachers, but any public employee unions, when the Sunshine List comes out these days, will say it's not fair because when the list was first created, 100,000 was 100,000. Now it would be something, if you increased it with inflation, 146,000, and you'd have far fewer people on the list. Is that a fair argument to make?
Well, I mean, it is true that inflation exists, but it isn't true that $100,000 is not a lot of money. Of course, it's a lot of money. It's actually double what the average weekly earnings are for the rest of Ontario. So the average weekly earnings for someone in Ontario is about $900 a week, $50,000 a year. So for these people to come out and say $100,000, oh, poo-poo, that's nothing. It's really offensive to the people who are earning $50,000 who are paying those salaries.
Well, that's a good point. The other thing they say is that this may be a one-off, a one-timer, because the government negotiated a deal with the teachers where they basically bought off their sick days, which gave a bunch of money to the teachers, and that maybe next year we'll have fewer of them on the Sunshine List.
Yeah, I mean, let's hope that that's the explanation, but I'm not too sure, because another part of the equation is that net zero bargaining, which is a requirement that any increases to salaries for teachers have to be offset by savings in other areas. So the government got rid of that. So to say, oh, it's just a one-time thing, oh, and by the way, we let go of any requirements, we show any modicum of restraint. I don't know if I believe it. I think that the trend we see is that the salaries increase every single year. And I don't see that trend stopping, especially when we have an election less than a year away.